So you could be making money every day, you could be making money every week, you could be making money, like every single time. So it's part 2 of keys to your home ownership, your journey to owning your own home. And we're talking about the difference and the benefits of renting over having your own home ownership. So we're painting the picture of how having your own home versus renting equals more money in your pocket, more increase in assets, more increase in your portfolio, in your property, right? So again, I've got my pointers on my phone so I don't stumble and look like I'm all over the place. And it's the next 5 pointers that highlight the importance of investing in a house, an apartment, a home that you own for yourself, paying a home mortgage instead of putting in rental every single month that goes nowhere. So point number 6 is long-term wealth building. So we already spoken about this, that initially when you buy into a house, now you've paid up your bond, you've done renovations, later on you can sell it at a higher price than what it actually is right now. So that is like a great big plus, because now you're spending a particular type of money. So let's say a property is 1.2 million, right? And then when you're selling it in that same market, because things are always progressing, they're moving forward, developments are happening, stuff are being built, schools, malls, it's becoming more commutable. So now you bought it at 1.2 million, now you can in the future sell it at 1.5 or 6 depending on the value of the area. So that's a big plus, versus you are paying a rental. Even if the area develops, when you move out with literally nothing, and some of your deposits also will be halved. You're not getting away with anything, right? So the 7th point is asset diversification. So what basically this means is that you are growing your portfolio. You buy your first house, you grow your portfolio as a person now with income steeds, right? And that means that now if you go to the bank and you now take up another property, you are growing your property or your investment. You are diversifying your income or your property portfolio. You are actually going to be more likely to get another house, versus if you're renting and now you are getting into buying a house for the first time, right? So you are able to diversify your income. Maybe have a house in Lord Hevel and have a flat in Midrand and have another flat in Kyalami. So you are able to diversify your portfolio income. And when you come into the bank as a homeowner and a person who is paying their mortgage every single month, and maybe you're close to finishing it off and now you're interested in investing in something else, the bank you have a greater chance of actually getting a second, a third, or the fifth mortgage, versus if you rental and now you're just getting into a space. So diversifying and creating a portfolio now is a big plus, right? So number 8, we spoke about it earlier, in terms of like rental income, but also looking at short-term rental income. So what that is like, it's maybe you own now an apartment or a flat, and then you're now hosting your Airbnbs or like your short-term rentals. Maybe it's in a place where there's tourists a lot, or people who are traveling up and down a lot, or maybe it's a place where normally events happen, like if you're thinking like Kyalami, what's it called, the ground racing place, there's often like events happening there. So if you have maybe a flat in that area, you could be offering people to book and stay within there, like short-term weekends, weeks, if they're traveling and stuff like that. It's near the airport, So you have that privilege of actually having those short-term income happening instead of maybe having a tenant that stays there in a long term. And some people prefer, investing in an apartment flat and actually having those short-term rentals, depending on the type of area that you are in, So you could be making money every day, you could be making money every week, you could be making money, like every single time somebody books your Airbnb or your apartment for them to stay in, right? So that is number 8, right? And then number 9, you have more control over the property management. So if you staying in a flat and you are renting, for example, whatever the management says goes. So if at 10 o'clock your party stops, it's over, right? You need to switch off, otherwise you're gonna get fined, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that. If your manager says, your property manager says in your rental that you're not allowed guests at 10 o'clock, I mean, what if they arrive at 11 and they come from Durban, you know, and I'm in Joburg, and that's the time of their flight or their bus or anything. If they say at 10 o'clock you are not allowed to have any guests, that's final. So with owning your own property, you are able to gauge and manage the management of how you want things to be. I mean, if you have a house and your neighbors like on all the way on the other side, I mean, you can have your guests come over anytime. You can have, you know, entertain your guests until 1 a.m. in the morning, depending on when you get tired. Like, there's no so many strict rules. Also, how many people you can stay with. Some rental apartments only allow a particular number of adults to stay in a particular type of unit. Whereas if you have your own apartment, you can gauge and manage it in your own way. If you want to have 3 or 4 people stay there or 5 people stay there, there's no like limit in terms of how you can manage your own property. So that's another big plus. And then number 10 is future retirement or a resale, right? So if, let's say, you built your property portfolio, right? Guess what? You can actually give it for your kids. By the time you are like old and wrinkled, you have 10, 12, 15, 20, 25 properties because you've diversified your property portfolio. You can actually live off a legacy, or maybe sell it and leave them with money to decide what they want to do with the cash. I'll probably keep the property running and they get dividends from whatever is happening at whatever age. You can even keep it in the trust, you know. So you actually literally building a legacy for your kids and your future kids. Whereas if you are in a rental space and you're paying rent every single month, if you are old, frail, and you deceased, you cannot take your rental property and will it off to your kids. It's not possible. If you're deceased, they close your lease off and they put in somebody else that's new. So those are my full pointers in terms of the benefits of having a house versus renting a place, where you're literally helping your landlord pay off their bond that they bought in a place, or you have your own property, your own investment, your own legacy that you are living off. This is just one of the few videos that I'm going to be doing for you guys, just to help you guys understand the importance and the benefits. And I know that there are a lot of new home buyers, and I know a lot of people that are renting and they're like scared and they don't know if they're going to qualify or what's the process. I'm going to be sharing a lot of videos in terms of educating you guys in terms of like, you know, how do you apply for one, which one is better, how would you know if you're making how much income, what can you qualify for. There's so many questions that go into your mind when you're renting, you're spending so much money, and you're like, I could actually have something of my own. And that's what I'm here for, is to give you guys information and help you on the journey to your home ownership. I hope this was very valuable, right? I'm going to see you guys in the next video, where I'm going to be teaching more about home ownership and investing.